Hello everybody, and we are live. You'll notice there is just one of me today, not two of me. Becca being the other me, obviously. So I apologise for that in advance. I know you'll come to see her pretty face and not mine. But she's not feeling too great. She's feeling very sick. So she's just feeling a bit under the weather and didn't feel up to coming on camera feeling that way. So apologies for that. So you get to put up with me and the mystery guest. And the mystery guest will be live at around 4 o'clock. So we look forward to that. So let's have a little chat what's been going on. COVID rears its ugly head again, and another lockdown looming from Thursday onwards. So I'm not sure what that quite means for us yet as a family. We won't know until later in the week. We will be probably having conversations with our bosses over the coming days as to if anyone stays at work or not. Obviously the showroom will need to be shut, but we can operate under click and collect. So whether they need anyone to carry on doing that or not, who knows? So we're a little bit up in the air as to what's going to go on this week, but I should know more later in the week. So whether I have to go to work or not isn't up to me, but we will see. So I hope everyone isn't going to be affected too badly by this. I hope that everyone stays safe and well. And I also hope that you keep your livelihood. Obviously the health is most important, but livelihood and being able to pay the mortgage is quite important too. So I hope you'll keep your head above water. Right, who have we got in the house? Let's say hello to everybody. We have Barry, very punctual today, Barry. We have Nigel. We have Taffy, hello Taffy. All the way over from Chicago, where one of our best friends comes from. So Becca is sat near me. I don't know if she'll talk or not or say anything. She's waving to me saying hello. But she will be in the chat. We have Chris. Hi Chris. We have John. JJ. Hi JJ. How you doing? Who else have we got here? We have Brandon. Brandon. Right. So can we show a little appreciation for Brandon's latest video? So Brandon released his 7 Deadly Sins video. Now, I'm not sure why I'm praising him, because he's only about 2 months too late. But I'm only kidding, Brandon. It's the video was, it just put the rest of our Deadly Sin videos to shame, because it was released very well timed for Halloween, and I messaged Brandon on his video, but it was insane in terms of the production quality, the music that went behind it, the thought process, the way the video sort of went in and out of different scenes. So yeah, I am fanboying right now, but rightly so. I also see Chris's post on YouTube about going and following Brandon. Now, if you don't follow Brandon, go and follow him and watch his stuff, because he's got a production quality and he's got this voice for radio, not face, voice for radio, and he's just very, very well clued up as to how to come across on camera, and I think he should have far more followers than he has. So if we could all show a little bit of a for Brandon for his latest video, because that was insane. So well done. Right, who else we got in the house? We have Chris in the house, the Scented Swordsman. We have Rush in the house. Hi Rush, thanks for joining. Very nice of you to join. So yeah, we looking forward to the mystery guest. I usually give it away around now by accident. We have Lizzie in the house, Oscar worthy. It was fantastic. Right, what else has been going on in the fragrance community? Let's talk about Hillary's collaboration video. How amazing was that video? Now, I tried to stay awake, but I couldn't. I watched some of the live, but I was falling asleep. It was quite late here, but I just couldn't stay awake for it. So I woke up nice and early and watched it the following morning with Bex, and we couldn't believe how good everybody's video was. Now, Bex doesn't really watch any YouTube videos, but I think even she would admit she enjoyed that because there was some cracking performances in that. Starting off with, she's smiling at me, starting off with Andreas, the first one. How amazing is Andreas? His hair, with the wind machine on, and his hair's going everywhere, and he slows everything down a little bit. He was insane. So Andreas was amazing. Even Beth watched it, said Barry. Yeah, it was brilliant. Is Beck going to be on today? Brandon, she's not feeling very well. She doesn't feel up to coming on camera today. She's not feeling or looking her best, I don't think, and she's just not feeling a bit sorry for herself. So she's not going to be coming on today. I'm really sorry. It's not the same without her. I know you're just going to have to put up with boring, waffling me. Sorry about that. Yes, that was very, very scary. So did you have any favourites in that video? Because I really struggled to pick one out that I really enjoyed. Obviously, I've got to say this. I'm going to embarrass her while she's in the chat, but Lizzie is in the chat. How brave and amazing was it of Lizzie to put her face on camera like that? I know how out of her comfort zone that is, and how much of a big thing that must have been for her, and she was amazing. Tony's looking very dapper today. Well, thank you very much, Rush. That's very nice of you. Got a new t-shirt, haven't I? Right, Lizzie was very awesome. But did we have any other? Who else do we have? We have Tara in the house as well. Hi, Tara. Favourites: Tony, the Tiger, and the Moustache Bex. Yeah. She definitely got into character, I would say. Who else did we? Was there anyone that stood out for you?
Tara.
Tara stood out. What was
it? A bit sexy.
Tara, I'm not sure if you heard that, but Tara, Bex said you looked a little bit sexy.
I would have touched her bum.
She said she would have touched your bum. So, did you see her as Hermione as well?
Yeah, I did.
Would you have touched her bum as well for that?
Maybe more Khaleesi.
Maybe more Khaleesi, right, okay. There we go. So no, everyone was, she's better, well, thanks Bex. Bex is in the chat, by the way. She is in the chat, and she'll be sitting on the sofa next to us, chilling. But no, that was fantastic. Chris made me die with his Captain Moist beard. Brandon was just insane. That video, Brandon, if you've got the full version of that, I think you should put that on your channel, because that was brilliant as well. Chris's little short production video was amazing. There's just too many to mention. Barry making us jump at the end with the two masks. Oh God, there's just too many to mention. But it was brilliant. So yeah, some good stuff on YouTube this week. Some really, really top class production and laughs, and just very watchable. And you know what, the fragrance community is coming together as well. So thank you, Hillary, for that, because to get everyone on the same video like that isn't easy, and to put it together isn't easy. So thank you very much. Right, let's move on to what else should we talk about? What is my beef of the week?
Passenger jets for me.
No, I don't think it's that. I think my main beef would be, now I feel a little bit more relaxed this time, but
I know.
What?
Your main beef is the fact that I am awesome at decorating, and I made the boys' beds without you.
That's not a beef.
It's me. You did it, Chance.
No, it's not beef. Right, I would say my beef is obviously the impending uncertainty around this week. I am a big worrier, believe it or not. I worry about lots. I overthink things. I look too deeply into things. It's probably a good thing sometimes because I can see things coming and I predict and plan for it. So in some ways it's a good thing, but it drives Becca mad because sometimes I do overthink things and she just tells me to like stop worrying. But I've seen this coming for some time. I think a lot of us have, and I think it's more that I like to know in my head what is going on. What are we going to be doing? Are we going to be paying the mortgage? Which I know we'll be all right, but it's just one of those things. I worry. I know other people have got it a lot worse than us, but it's just, I worry about it, don't I? And Becca's rolling her eyes at me right now, but I'm used to that. So yeah, it's hi Nick, thanks for joining. So yeah, that's my beef of the week, is just the not knowing. We probably won't know what is happening until Wednesday night, probably Wednesday night. Is Becca going to be working? Am I going to be working? Are both of us going to be working? Are none of us going to be working? Either way, we'll get on with it, but who knows? Who knows? You know what? I've even had customers emailing me already today saying, what's going to happen with my car? I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not there, number one. And number two is I don't know. We've only just found out ourselves. So until this week, I won't be able to know more. So yeah, that's me. My beef of the week is my own worrying about the impending week ahead. Boner of the week. Got to spend some time with Bex yesterday on our own, which was very nice. So we went for a we didn't plan this at all. We went into town. We had to get a few things. I had to get my son's birthday presents, and I had a feeling that night something was going to happen. And we'd seen it in the papers, and we'd already planned to go out anyway, so we weren't like panicking. But I wanted to get my son's birthday present sorted out. So we went into Peterborough. Don't mind telling you that, and we went for something to eat and a couple of drinks. And we went into a lovely, lovely place called the Tap and Tandoor, and which is a pub, but it's also sort of does Indian food or Indian snacks. So we had Indian gastro pub. So it's like Indian meze, isn't it, in a way? Oh, thank you, bless you. Tara, you don't need to do that. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Bless you. Bless you. Don't need to do that, but thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But yeah, no, we went out yesterday and we had a lovely time, didn't we? And we had something to eat. We relaxed. So there we go. Is that bum touching payment? You funny. Right, let's move on. So we are going to be talking about some samples that I've received in from the lovely Sam the Scent over on Instagram. Sam was the one that introduced me to Flavius Kalau and Kalau Fragrances. He sent me the samples, so thank you, Sam. And he reached out again and said, I'd like to send you some more samples to try. So some of the samples in here, I've tried a couple of bits. I've not tried an awful lot, but here we go. Right, the first one I've tried, and this blew me away. Actually, I've really enjoyed it, and it is Amouage, and it is Sunshine EDP for Men, which I believe Chris has, the Scented Swordsman, and he enjoys that one. I think it was the first Amouage he bought. So this I tried on in the week, and it's herbally, it's green, but nowhere near as green as Beach Hut Man. It's got this sweetness to it. It's a gorgeous fragrance, and I think it would work well all year round, not just in the summer, because of its strength. It's got some good strength there. Very interesting, addictive smell. So that is Amouage. Really enjoyed that. Anything else I've tried in here? Yes, there is something else here. I tried this some time ago anyway, and I tried it on Steve's Frags for Riches channel, and this is a little sample of Byron Zaire, which I tested on skin and really enjoyed that. So I've got a little dab, a sample of that, and something I think is amazing. What else have I got? Right, going to be trying this for the first time today. So this is from Zoologist, and it is one of their more challenging fragrances. So I'm interested to see what I think of this. I don't know the notes of it. I've watched reviews in the past, but the notes evade me. I can't remember what's in it. But I want to give this a quick test and see if it's too challenging for me. Now, I think I am moving on in my journey of fragrances, and I am getting some enjoyment out of some more challenging fragrances, but there's still a lot of different things that are still too much for me, and I'm predicting that this will probably still be too much, but we will give it a go. Excuse me. Right, here we go. T-Rex by Zoologist.
Hey.
It is Becca, it's Becca, yeah.
It's a great fairy. You hate it.
Oh, right, okay. Now, cool, that is strong. That's filled this whole room already, that 2 sprays. Becca would hate this. Oh dear. That is smoky, really smoky. It's almost like the land burning smoky. It's leathery, very, very leathery as well. Wow, that is... It is intense, it's very intense. It's got a subtle sweetness in it though, a bit like... I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that sort of quite challenging but sweet smell. I get the same from not Back to Black, Black Phantom, where I find it a little bit sickly sweet, but with the challenging notes there. Personally, I think that's too much. I'm just going to let Becca smell that. No, she's like literally just creamed and oh. No. What did you get? Yes, did you smell anything in it?
Yeah, it smells like, do you know when you used to go on a school trip to a museum?
Yep.
And you like go into a certain, it smells like a fusty.
Fusty, yeah, I can get that.
Museum.
Fusty museum. Does anyone like this? Does anyone get any enjoyment from it? Is it something that you enjoy? Wonder I don't know what's in the base, because there's something in there that's just got this slight sweetness. Isn't it supposed to smell a bit like how dinosaurs burning? Now, yeah, it's incredibly smoky in the opening.
Volcanic.
Volcanic?
Yeah,
like molten lava. But can you get like the leathery note in it?
Yeah.
It's like a strong leathery couch that's been smoked on. Like someone sat on a couch.
So you basically saying it smells like somebody stuck his arse on the sofa?
No, it smells nice. It's not musty or arse bum like. It's arse and bum in the same word. Isn't that the same thing? But it smells like it's very, very leathery, like an old leather sofa that's cracked and worn, that a smoker's been sat there and just smoked on it for years. So you went and sniffed it and you get that smoky, leathery smell together.
Brendan said it reminds him of his friend's iguana tank.
Well, I can see that, can you? It's got that sort of... Someone said about hay, but you can imagine, yeah, like an iguana, dirty iguana tank, that challenging note when you open it and it needs cleaning, so a little bit of the animalic there, but you can get the sort of smells of the animal as well as like the hay or the bedding that you would get.
You're not selling it to anyone.
No, I'm not selling it to anybody. But hey, there we go. That is T-Rex. Not my favourite. It's not something I personally would buy. But I can see why people would like it, I think. But not me. Right. Burning dinosaur haystack. Yeah, it does smell like that, doesn't it? Haystack on fire. So that got that real sort of strong, earthy. What's that? You all right there? Right. I quite like it, says Nigel. How long have we got left? We've got another 10 minutes. Let's smell a couple of other bits. Right. What would you like me to try? We have a couple here. Right. I have rook dandelion. I have rook greengrocer. Hey, y'all. We have Hillary, the amazing collaboration artist in the house. She must have known that we were talking about her. All good things, Hillary, all good things. We have Rook Perfumes Rook. So a few Rooks in here. Maybe he wants me to try Rook. What do we reckon? What else do we have? Rouge Perfumery Tabac Vert. We have Robert in the house. Hi, Robert. Robert, I would imagine you're a fan of T-Rex. You're into your quite sort of niche, challenging fragrances don't put you off at all. So I could imagine you quite like T-Rex. Have you tried it? Rogue Perfumery Ishtar. Unusual stuff in here. Stuff that I've not tried at least, which is interesting. And Rogue Tuberose and Rose. Sorry, and Moss. Can you still smell it? Yeah, it is. That's filled the room. Right, I'm going to go with, what do we have? Tabac Vert. Right, let's go with what Tara said then. We're going to go with Tabac Vert. Where is it? There it is. From Rogue Perfumery. And Robert says that he likes T-Rex, very smoky. It is indeed. So the first hit I got was burning, was smokiness, leather. Right, Rogue Perfumery. And we all know how we all love a dabber. These look like they originally came from Lucky Scents. Rogue Perfumery Tabac Vert. So let's give this a quick dab on my skin. Anyone else tried this? So I'm trying to get enough on the dabber onto my skin so I can give it a good sniff. Apologies, just bear with me a second. Oh, okay. Tabac Vert. So I don't know what's in this. That's easier to wear. It's much easier on the nose than T-Rex. Thanks, I'm curious about this one. Yeah, so the tobacco is almost like a, it's not a tobacco, a honey tobacco, like you'd find in something like Naxos. It's very powdery. It's got like a, it's got a floral. It's almost like a tobacco rose combination. It says green tobacco. Yeah, it's not a tobacco that, yeah, more of a green tobacco than sort of something like a honey tobacco. But then it's got this sort of powderiness from the floral in there. I'm not sure what the floral is. I don't think it is rose, but it reminds me of a tobacco rose combination. Quite powdery. Very pleasant. I think I'd wear that. I'd need to get a bigger spray on me. And then Barb sort of emptying it out onto my skin. But very clean. The tobacco is just, when you first dab it and you smell it, you can get that quite heavily, and then it's dying off now already. And the floral is coming through. But that's nice. I quite like that. That is a thumbs up from me. It's quite nice in my opinion, but my skin swallows it up. Okay. Right, let's see what else is there. Well, the tobacco's virtually gone from that already. Right, let's try Rook from Rook Perfumes. Not tried anything from this house at all. We've got 5 minutes until my mystery guest comes on. And another dabber on this. So again, just bear with me while I just get enough on skin to give it a good smell. And what is everyone's scent of the day today? What are you wearing? My scent of the day is Club de Nuit Intense Man, the new Parfum version, not the EDP, the Parfum. I wanted something easy to wear today, so that's what I went with. Oh, wow. That's good. That's got some fruits in. Again, I'm really sorry. I haven't looked up any of the notes in any of these. That is good. It's got very hard to pick out the notes on it. That is lovely. It's got some florals in it. It's got some powderiness again. Maybe some tobacco in there as well. It's got a little bit of smokiness. Am I right in saying that, Brandon, if you've tried this? That is good. So Rook from Rook Perfumery is a good fragrance. Hi Darren, thanks for joining. Very nice of you to join me on this lovely, rainy, horrible Sunday afternoon. But I quite like that, that's all right. Not sure Bex will like it. It's got enough going on where it's not really, really easy, but it's interesting. There we go. Quite enjoyed that. My scent of the day is Charlie Red. We haven't even got Charlie Red. What else? What else is everyone else wearing? What do we have? Darren, have you seen mine and Becca's Halloween video yet? I think Becca's quite proud of that. What? No?
You roped me in.
I roped her in apparently. You got into it.
Only because you said I need to be good.
Scent of the day from Brandon is Herod. What a cracking. Am I right? I think I remember you got that from New York, Brandon, when you visited. I remember hearing a little bit about that. We are sensing tobacco, leather, oud and wood and rook. Tobacco, leather, oud and wood in rook. There's an odd soapy note too. Yeah, I get that. Like a powdery soapiness. But yes, very nice. Thanks for letting me know about that. I didn't know what was in it, so I appreciate you letting me know. It's a disgrace that they haven't asked you, Tara. Look, don't ruin things. We got to get round people, all right? We will definitely be DMing Tara at some point. So, you know, stay out of it, Barry. We have about 2 minutes before we are due with our mystery guest. Everything going to plan, that is. So yeah, I appreciate you joining us this Sunday afternoon. We've got 24 people in the chat. 24 people. Is that more or less as when Becca's in? Not sure. She's laughing. Beck stroking the moustache was priceless. You like that moustache being stroked, didn't you? Yeah. Scent of the day from JJ is Histor's de Parfums 1740. Not tried that, sounds very good. Better get the tiger costume back on. No, that has been relegated to the bin. Was it obscene? No, because I can't say that because they'll watch.
It was very obscene.
Becca said my tiger outfit was obscene. She chucked it in the bin. We had Scott challenged me and said that he felt that it was part of my wardrobe already. And I had to prove that it wasn't part of my wardrobe and that I had, in fact, bought the outfit just for that video and proved it as well. And that outfit is now in the bin already. And Chris has gone with initio side effect. Strong. Not tried it, Chris. Heard good things though. Rex, you're so wearing. Charlie Red, embrace the love. Smash the like button. Yes, hit that like button. Thank you very much. It'd be great if you could do that. Right. Just waiting now. Do you have to give out tiger tokens, Tony? Oh, and we have the person. I've not managed to give this away today, which I'm really, really impressed by. But we have the person in the room, in the back studio right now. So I will just give it one more minute. Hopefully I'll get a thumbs up and say that we're ready over there. Yeah, we're ready. Excellent. So we'll just give it a minute and we'll bring this person in. I haven't even managed to give it away whether it's male or female this week. Amazing. Amazing. Right. Here goes. Let's get ready and bring them in. So if you could all make the person feel very welcome, say hello. Into the stream we go. We have Steve.
Hello. I feel like there's a big anti-climax there. It's like a big build-up. It's like, make it ready, and people are like, yeah. Oh, it's him. Excellent.
Oh.
Yeah. How's it going, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Right, Becca's not feeling very well, Steve. She was coming in, but she just really didn't feel up to it. So I don't think it's you. She is sort of sat around here, ready to troll us both as usual.
Standard operating procedure.
Standard. But yes, we have the geek Steve in the house. Thanks for joining, Steve.
That's right, Matt. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Your first time.
I had a little bit of a drama just before I joined you. I got my shiny new laptop and I was getting it all ready. I thought, right, I'll just test everything's working. Like 5 minutes to go. I was like, camera's not working. Black screen. Couldn't figure out. There's the camera pops up in the keyboard. So you have to press a little button. The camera pops up. I was like, oh, that's quite snazzy. But then basically what you see is that. That's what you would have seen for the rest of this like stream. And I thought, well, I can't really do that. So I've switched to my my work laptop. So hopefully it's slightly better.
Yeah.
So
you'll notice the quality isn't always as good on these live streams. It's on StreamYard. Unless I'm a bit tight, unless I pay for the full thing, you don't get HD.
Well, that's probably not a bad thing. It's a bit more forgiving. It's right for you. If you've got a face like yours, it's fine to be in HD, but a face like mine doesn't really work in HD, mate.
Thanks, Tom. That's cute.
There you go.
So, no, I really appreciate you joining me, Steve. It's really nice of you to come on. I spoke to you actually in the first couple of weeks of doing this and said, didn't I, that I would love to have you on, but
yeah, and then you never contacted me again. Be great to have you on, mate. We'll contact you. Don't contact us. Months later, you run out of everybody else, and then you contacted me again.
No,
so cool.
you know why I didn't contact you. It's I'm getting all embarrassed now. It's it caught me out, damn. No, I know how busy and how much you enjoy your Sundays off work. So I know how much pressures you've got in life. Very similar to us, really, but it's hard to ask someone to give up their time. That's one thing it's not quite, I'm not quite comfortable with it yet.
I don't mind as long as there's notice, but we were discussing this recently. There's so much, obviously, that it's great that Fragcom is so prolific and there's so much going on and there's so many people doing stuff. It's great, but conversely, it really eats up time. Like, keep up with everything, all the lives, all the premieres, all people's channels and everything. It's like really hard work to keep in check. So you've got to try and balance it with your actual life, haven't you? Really? So
100%.
I tried to do that.
Yeah, we discussed this, didn't we? And it's quite, you've got to get the balance right. You have.
Definitely.
And Becca tells me, I told you that as well, that if she's sitting here listening, that if I'm spending too much time, she'll just like give me a little knock and say, look, rein it back a little bit. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, sorry. So it's, but it's hard when you're supporting so many people, especially when they're supporting you as well, because you tend to find that a lot of people that are watching your reviews and watching what you're doing is other reviewers, and
Yeah, totally.
you want to support them back, and it's difficult to get it all in.
This is the thing. I'm like just racked with guilt most of the time because I'm either guilty that I'm not spending time with the family, or guilty that, like you say, there's so many lovely people in Fragcom like watch my videos and make comments and everything, and I feel really bad that I don't kind of comment on all their videos. And it's not that I don't support anybody, I want to, but like I said, there's even in the UK fragrance reviewers chat now, I think there's like 19, 20 people in there. And I was thinking about it the other day. You think most of them are doing like 2 videos a week, but even if you said most of them did 1 video a week that's like 10 minutes long, you're looking at like 190, 200 minutes a week just watching a videos. It's insane. Just to so it is. So yeah, it's probably a good time if anybody's in here. I love all of you, and I thank you for supporting me. And I'm sorry that I can't always kind of comment on all your videos and show you as much support back. I do feel bad for it. I am racked with guilt all the time. So.
Well, thank you. I've just thought, but no, thank you for coming on, Steve. I won't keep you too much of your Sunday because you film Scent Geeks. You record Scent Geeks on a Sunday, don't you? So
yeah, we record the podcast, and I'm editing. I was nearly going to swear then, but my wife and son are watching downstairs for a little bit. So I'm the editing monkey, I should say, this week. So I've got to edit it as well. So we've got to record it, and then I spend. Editing's not too bad, but you sort of maybe take about an hour afterwards just editing and uploading and stuff. So
excellent. Yeah. I just thought I would try, just based on that, just a quick question. Have you thought about, you probably have, but have you thought about doing any lives yourself? Because all the things that you've mentioned about the things that take the time, actually a live, apart from Nigel's live, he's the anomaly to this, but I joked in his chat the other day that I just press play and go on late, and then have you thought about doing anything at all or not?
No, not really. I would say this is only like the second live. No, actually, maybe the fourth. I've done a couple of sort of Insta lives with Chris when we've been a bit drunk. There's one with me and Chris, and one where we had a Fragcom meetup. So I've been in them, and then I did a live. Instagram live with Nigel, and then this is the other live I've done.
Right.
So I don't know, not really. I've not really thought about it. No, it's not something I've kind of aspired to.
Steve's gone. Steve's frozen. I don't know if everyone can hear me or hear me okay. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Can everyone hear me okay? Have I frozen or okay? Is it just Steve? Oh, here we go. Steve's buffering.
Oh, are we back?
We're back. The gremlins.
Then I was looking at my internet. I was like, oh, what's going on? Like looking at the little icon. I think it might have been my internet that dropped. I don't know why. Perhaps the family are doing something. I've got quite good internet, but sorry about that.
No, nothing usually happens on my live without going slightly wrong. Gremlins.
I think that's a prime example why I don't do lives, maybe. I think I've answered your question there.
Excellent. The reason I mentioned that was because obviously you said about being editing this week, and with this, that's the only godsend that you just, once it ends, it's ended. I can get on with my Sunday night, go and get fat by eating takeaway and having a beer, which is what I do most Sundays after I finish work. So it's that's the only thing I would say about live is it takes a bit of stress out of thinking about things.
Well, I find that with the first impressions videos, I've got to balance them out because I end up doing a few of those now, but they're quite easy on the old edit because you don't have to plan, you don't have to wear anything, obviously do loads of testing and try and think about what you're going to say as such. You just spray it, give your first impressions, and then normally it's one continuous recording as well. So when it comes to editing, I just like chop it up, the ends off or whatever, and then upload it. So it's normally quite easy doing the first impressions. So they're quite easy on the old edit. But yeah, I'm not too excited to sort of do the lives. There's loads of people doing them, and they're doing much better jobs than what I would do. Like Nigel puts so much thought and effort into his lives. It's
smashing it, isn't he? Yeah, absolutely smashing it.
Couldn't even do a fraction of the effort that he's doing in his. So fair play to him.
Good stuff. Right, shall I start with a few questions?
Can if you want.
Let's crack on. Right, so you would have heard some of the live, Steve. So you know what the first question is probably. And I'm intrigued with this one actually. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes, it does. I actually, this is the only thing I thought about before joining this. I thought, oh, he's going to ask me that. And if I go to a Pizza Hut, which I won't be doing for a while by the looks of things, I will quite often go for a Hawaiian at Pizza Hut. But if I go for Domino's, it's a mighty meaty. But yeah, I do quite like, I do like a Hawaiian ham and pineapple pizza.
Works well. You can definitely stay. That's the joke. Obviously, if you don't like pineapple on pizza, you're out. Get out. But you can stay. So that's awesome. So you've said what your favourite pizza is. You know from this, I am a massive, massive pizza fan. I know my body doesn't show that, but
mine does. Yeah.
The temple of the body that I have shows that I eat green leaves all the time, obviously. But no, Domino's. If you like pineapple, you may have heard me say this, pepperoni and pineapple works a treat.
Okay.
The spiciness of the pepperoni instead of the ham with the pineapple.
Okay.
Just give it a go. Don't judge.
Well, actually, every now and again, almost once a week, the wife and the boy make pizzas, homemade pizzas. So perhaps I'll put that as a suggestion: pepperoni and pineapple. So there we go.
Excellent. How is life treating you at home at the moment with new Barb? And is everything going okay?
Yeah, good. We had the in-laws visiting this weekend, so that was good because basically it's just free sort of entertainment for the kids, so I could go off and do get some jobs done. But things are good. Yeah, baby's doing well. She's a bit of a chubby chubster. She's put on lots of weight, which is good. She's feeding well. She's sleeping not too bad. She goes for quite long stints, but then just sometimes I don't know if I'm allowed to swear yet or not, but sometimes she can be a pain. But yeah, it's just a baby, innit? That's what they're like. So yeah, things are not too bad. Yeah, things are good. The boy's started school because he's 5, so he's kind of doing his thing as well, so that he's enjoying that. So yeah, things are good, mate, really, on the whole. Can't complain.
And I was talking about before we went live about the impending lockdown, which is I don't know how well you do know me, see, but I was saying to everyone in the chat before, I'm a worrier. I worry all the time.
Yeah.
I think the previous time I worried and panicked and went and got a job. I didn't actually in the end. I probably didn't need to, but it was just I just see things come in, I overthink them, and then I think right, I've got to put an action to this, and I try and deal with it. And this week I've got no clue as to what's going to happen to me until probably Wednesday night before we shut on Thursday.
Right.
But whether I'm going to be working or Becca's going to be working or both are going to be working or none of us are going to be working, we don't know. We just don't know yet.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Because last time it was quite a kind of clear, hard lockdown. But this time they've said, like, stay at home if you can work from home. But if you can't, go to work. So it's like, okay. So like your job, for example, it's like, well, you can't do your job at home. So you go to work. But then you won't have any customers because that's not...
Yeah, so just let you know, we're a retail environment, so we do have to shut the doors in terms of members of the public coming in to buy cars. We're not allowed to open the doors. So we effectively will have the showroom shut. But the sort of the workaround, if you like, and this is perfectly legal, is that we're allowed to operate, which was clearly mentioned yesterday, under click and collect.
Okay.
So I could effectively go to work, and answer the phone and internet inquiries and sell cars and get them delivered to customers. So it is doable. It's just whether there's enough inquiries to keep one person going, let alone 6 of us. There definitely won't be enough for 6. So I'm sure some of us will be furloughed. It's just who, basically. So yeah, it's the not knowing that's the worrying thing. It's this. We'll know more in the week, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on.
Yeah, I'm quite fortunate because my company, I don't know if many people know what I actually do, but I'm a scientist. I've got like a degree in chemistry and all that jazz. So I used to work in a lab, and now I sell scientific equipment. So my company supplies scientific equipment, so it's seen as kind of an essential because we supply like NHS and people researching COVID, etc., etc. So our work carries on, but I can just work from home. So I'm in sales, so I just work from home and just do it all through like emails and sometimes like Skype or Teams and all that jazz. So yeah, it doesn't change much for me. I used to obviously go out and see customers, but I've not seen a customer in the physical flesh since like March before the first lockdown. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So this won't be any different to you. Just carry on business as usual.
Really. Yeah, business as usual for me. which is
Good
good.
stuff.
But
Well, let's
I
move
mean,
into. Sorry, go on, mate.
so, no, I was going to say it'll drop off a little bit because if some sites, some companies will shut down, so we don't get as many kind of sales and inquiries, etc. But other than that, yeah.
Excellent. Right, let's get into some important questions. Got a couple of get to know you questions, then we'll move on to a little bit of fragrance. But
Okay.
what would you say your favourite cake is?
Chocolate brownie, if that counts as a cake. I guess it does. But yeah. Chocolate brownie.
Warm with ice cream?
Yes. Winner, mate. That is the one. That is the one. Without doubt.
And where would you say? So say the no expense spared. You can go wherever you want. We are flying from tomorrow. Where would be the place that you'd most like to take the family on holiday?
We were fortunate enough. We went to the Maldives for our honeymoon and love to go back, but it's obviously not a cheap holiday. So we'd love to go back at some point. But I mean, ideally, I'd like to go without the kids. Probably without the wife as well, really. But it would just be different. Obviously, the first time we went, it's just us two on the honeymoon. It was just bliss. But I would love to go back there. It's just beautiful, picture perfect sort of thing.
Excellent. Have you been invited, or would you like to go to, when things are back to normal as best they are? Would you go to Essence or Sense Explore?
Chris asked me about this kind of before it kind of all went a bit awry. I would love to. I would love to go. But again, for me, it's probably more going just for the banter. I'd like to just catch up with everybody, have a laugh, go around, just enjoy it, which I guess is what it's about. But it's hard to justify it again with the family. Just to go, yep, see you later. I'm off for like a week. And I think the event is free, isn't it? Like Essence, but you got to pay for your travel, your hotel, and it's just kind of hard to justify. And we've discussed this numerous times, I think, kind of offline and online. The balance again and justifying. It's the same when you buy all these fragrances. It's all great, but every now and again, I like to have a car and sell loads. Not because I need the money, but it's more cathartic. I feel better about this whole stupid hobby because you're spending money on scented water. It's a bit crazy, really. And then when you've got a wife and kids, so yeah, it's hard to kind of justify it. So I would love to, but I don't think I could swing it, to be honest. Yeah. So what about you?
Yeah, I would. I mean, it really interests me. I hinted at Becca to go to Milan for my birthday. My birthday's in February, and I said that I'd like her to go as well. We'd use it as an excuse for us both to have some time away from the kids, I think.
Yeah.
We're a bit more fortunate, obviously, because Phoebe's a bit older. She's 8, so she can go and stay with Nan and Grandad for a weekend or for 3 days or so. And my boys, they're a lot older. Josh is nearly 19, and Scott spends the weekends with his mum, so he's 15 now. So we're getting that little bit. We can have that freedom if we want it. We don't get a lot of it, don't get me wrong, but it's nice that we can.
Oh, mate, you can see it though. The end is in sight. You can you've got some freedom on the other side. Like my brother, he's got him and his missus, their daughters are now basically gone to uni. The last one of them's 19, the other one's just turned 18 and started going to uni. And that's it. They're free now. They're free the other side, and they're not that old. I mean, my brother's quite a bit older than me, but they're still young enough to do stuff. And I'm like, damn, they're free, the bastards. So yeah, I'm a bit jealous of that. So it's in sight for you. You can see it.
Yeah, I know. I know. And we are looking forward to it. We talked. Becca's talked about having more children for ages, and I've been really mean and sort of said, no, look, I've got the 2 boys as well. It's just, I can see that light at the end of the tunnel as to getting some freedom back. So I'm just like, no, I've done my bit for mankind. That's it. So.
I've done my bit for mankind. I've got all this going on, and I've shared it with the world. That's all. I've done my bit now. There's a bit of this.
That wasn't how it was meant to come across, right?
With great power comes great responsibility. When you're this good, you've got to pass it on and make sure it continues in the world. Yeah. So.
Brilliant. Right.
My wife actually had a checkup with the midwife the other day, like 8 weeks or something, and she got back and she told me that she was talking to the midwife about my vasectomy. I was like, oh, and she's like, the midwife said it was a great idea. I was like, oh, did she? Oh, lovely. That's nice.
Does she want to have it done for me? Yeah, thank you.
She put me in, as she? Yeah. So yeah.
Brilliant. Right. What would you say, straight into fragrance, what would you say your favourite note is in fragrance. Now, there's one I don't want to hear. One is vetoed, and that is mandarin.
Watch out. No,
anything
I do like
but mandarin.
It's funny actually because I'm wearing Mercedes-Benz cologne today, so I'm wearing a mandarin-based fragrance. I do really like I like sandalwood, but I probably would go vanilla. But then it's got to be quite like it when it's like a creamy sort of with a sandalwood that kind of, if it's too synthetic or like I don't like it so much. So it's it's a balancing point for me, vanilla. But yeah, I quite like vanilla.
Excellent. Right.
What's yours out of interest? I'm going to keep flipping these questions every time.
Oh,
It's just the British person in me. When somebody asks you something, it's the polite thing is to reciprocate. So it's not so good when you're being interviewed. I'll be no good with Parkinson. Just keep asking. Oh, what about you? What's your favourite note?
The easy thing for me to say would be vanilla, because I do love so many vanilla fragrances, and I love more than some others. I know things that have been vetoed and St. Gigs and stuff, but you know how much I love this the same as you do with the Chronic. It's just, that to me is just my holy grail. So that suggests that sandalwood and vanilla is my favourite notes. I think you also know I love iris, so I love Dior and things like that. So iris I'm very fond of, and I would say I'm become very fond of tobacco, and I never thought I would. Ever thought I would. One of the things that's made me say that is because I tried very early on tobacco vanille, and I just felt that it was just too much, too challenging, something that was just far too much for me. And yet I've smelt it again recently and really like it. So what's going on?
But again, I'm flipping this around onto you now, but your fragrance journey you've changed a lot through the sort of frag form, because you started out as Fragdicted,
Yes,
doing all the sort of clones, and then you've kind of gone into designer, and now you're well into the sort of indie and a bit of niche and stuff. So your style and preferences in fragrance have changed a lot. Mine has, but nowhere near as much as yours, I don't think. You've kind of, if you look back to what you were sort of you started out smelling and reviewing and sharing on Instagram, you'd probably turn your nose up at it now. That's the thing.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I've got on the bottom of my shelf in the garage the first bunches of fragrance that I took pictures of. They're on the bottom shelf, and they're all in like one area. And I pick them up every so often. But you know what? It's very nice to smell them sometimes and think, oh yeah, this got me into it. It does bring back some good memories. And it's only really a year ago. It's not that long ago. But it's amazing. I just think in another year's time, am I going to be liking one that I've just sprayed like T-Rex? Or is that
you're going to be like, T-Rex, this is just basic. They've just not, but T-Rex is just, it's a bit, but I mean, it's just up there with Dior Sauvage, really. It's a basic fragrance. I need something a bit more challenging. Yeah, that's what you're going to be like, mate.
Well, I hope not. I'm trying to keep it real in terms of, I still like the things I liked back then, but I think I'm learning more. I think as you learn more, you get to know your taste, and I didn't know what that was early on. When I started, I personally think I started my channel too early as well, in terms of I didn't really know my taste too much. I just had an interest in fragrances, watched lots of reviews, got heavily hooked on something, and thought, right, I think I could do this. And then I hadn't really learned what I like, I don't think, at that point.
Yeah, but then part of that, it depends which way you do it, but part of it is you were just filming and documenting your journey, which is a really wanky thing to say, but that's what you were doing. Whereas the flip side is you could be an expert and go, well, I'm an expert, I'm going to share my expert knowledge, but that's not what your take was. The same with me, really. You kind of were into it and you're like, well, I'm going to kind of get into this more and investigate it more. I might as well film it and share it on YouTube. So it's two different ways of doing it, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Has Bex's taste kind of developed with yours? Or is she
100%? And she will actually, I think, admit to this, because she will think that she's more real in terms of me, like keeping it simple. And she was banging the drum early on about if it smells good, like Sauvage, for example. Sauvage is the perfect example. People in the fragrance world, they do turn their nose up at it because it is an overdone fragrance now, I think. But Becca's of the opinion, if she wants the man to smell good, that is something that smells good on a man. Smells masculine, smells good. It's not challenging. It's easy to smell. And she would say that's what women want, and she would bang the drum over that, and that's what she believed in. But as time gone on, I think she's appreciated that it actually is. She's become more of a frag head, so she's liking things like she tried Myrrh and Tonka, Joe Malone yesterday in store, and she loved that and fell in love with that. But she started going for things. She loves Moolah Moolah, by the way, absolutely loves that. So not
and
anything
is that
challenging.
on her or you? I don't know what this
No,
finger's
on her.
Okay, cool. Yeah. E.T. Okay, that's interesting then. Yeah.
But no, she definitely her taste is changing. She even liked tobacco vanilla on me the other day. She asked what it was. So it's her taste has definitely developed. Would you agree?
Yeah.
She's holding her finger up. She's like this.
But also,
yeah,
the Savage and Issamiyaki and stuff. If we were going out on a date night, I would still.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So basically, what she said was that I don't know if you heard that, Steve.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see that she doesn't mind me smelling the different interesting things on a daily basis at work and things because she's not getting in close to me or. But if we was to go out somewhere, she'd still want me to smell of something that she recognises as me. If that makes sense. So.
100% know that my wife's completely the same. My wife is a bit more. I wouldn't say she's into it, but she's a bit more accommodating and forgiving, and she'll smell stuff now. But it's not. She just likes stuff that's kind of reminds her of me and is a bit more comforting. So it's fragrances that I used to wear, or something that's kind of more my style, maybe that she kind of goes, yeah, that smells like you, or that reminds me of you. They're the ones that she enjoys the most, and they're quite often fairly simple designer fragrances, but again, they smell nice. So yeah.
One thing I would say is I think our tastes are quite alike. I think we agree on some things that in terms of if something's too much or too challenging or smells of, we would say it smells of.
Yeah,
quite happily say that if it's too oody and it smells of barnyardy crap, then I will say that isn't what I want to smell of. And
that's the thing. There's numerous fragrances I smell, and I think sometimes it's like, no, I don't like that. Sometimes I actually find that a really interesting smell, but I don't want to smell of it. And that's the difference. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's a really nice smell, but do I want to smell like that? Do I want to go to the school to pick up my son and people smell that on me? It's a different thing, really. So, yeah, I totally get that.
Excellent. Right. So, if you could pick 2 new fragrances to buy right now, i.e. no expense spared, I'll tell you what, I'm buying them for you, and I've told you that expense doesn't matter. What would you pick?
Oh, Christ. Bloody hell, that's a good question.
Would you go niche?
Oh my God. I really don't know what I'd say.
Should maybe have emailed you this question first.
Yeah, probably not. I don't smell that many niche fragrances, and when I do, it's rare that I actually think, "Wow, that's blown me away," or "I really must own that." It's quite rare that I kind of get that. Normally, it's quite anticlimactic for me because, like, I've got Alexandria Fragrances United Kingdom, which is a clone of Roger Parfum's Great Britain, which is £1,250, which blows my mind away. Have you just like guffed or something and you're just trying to stop yourself from smelling it? Is that what that is? Is that like a 12-year-old child?
I just had some water go down the wrong hole.
Oh, I'll let you off. But yeah, so Alexandria's version smells good, but again, it's like I was talking to my wife about this and my mate. I messaged him because I sent him a screenshot. I was like, "Oh, I've got this, and it's a clone of this," and I sent him a screenshot of like £1,250 for like Great Britain, and he was like, "Do people actually spend that money on fragrances?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I guess it's a ball of fragrances. It's all relative, isn't it? If you're driving around in Ferraris and Bentleys, for you to drop £1,250 on fragrance is probably like you and me dropping like 50, 60, 70 quid on an Yves Saint Laurent fragrance or something. It's all relative. But for me, quite often when I smell fragrances like that, I just don't see the value in it. I can't think that it smells 1,250 quid's worth. So yeah, a fragrance that I want to pick up at some point, because normally I'm quite bad. If I want a fragrance, I'll end up just buying it. I'll just like, I bought one recently. The other day actually, I probably won't say what it is because I might do some content on it. But But one I keep meaning to buy at some point, but I'm waiting for the prices to drop because I can't justify the cost of it, is Givenchy's Gentleman Brase.
Okay.
I did a video on it. And I really enjoyed it. The performance isn't great, but it's holding its money so strongly. It's like 60, 70 quid. I can't really swing it for that because I think it's really nice. And my wife actually preferred it to what's the other Prada L'Homme. She actually preferred it to Prada L'Homme. I did a side by side because it's got iris in it as well, and she actually preferred it, and I think I did, to be honest. So to say that I preferred it to Prada L'Homme is quite strong words. I think it smells really good, but the performance is a bit lacking, so I can't justify it. So that's probably one that I'd let you buy me. But then that's a prime example. That's how my tastes. I like something that I like. Like you're saying, oh, no expense spared. You can have whatever you want. So I could have said, I'll have that Roger Parfum's 1250 crown fragrance. I've got no, I'll have that Givenchy actually for 60 quid. But then I sort of stand by it. I like what I like, and I sort of stand by that. I don't get suckered into the whole, it's got to be nice because it's an expensive thing. So, don't know.
Yeah, I really struggled. I went to meet the tour in London with Bex back in July now. And we went to Harrods for the day, and the tour works for a company within Harrods, basically.
Okay, cool.
And he gets discount in there, so he was quite keen to show me around and show me everything. And I'd gone with the intention. After lockdown, I was feeling a bit flushed because I was working 2 jobs or furloughed from one and earning. And you know what? I didn't actually need to do that in the end. And I was doing all right. And I thought, let's go and treat ourselves for the weekend. And hadn't even set myself a budget. I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to feel guilty for once in my life if I spend £300 on a fragrance today. So I went with that attitude.
Right.
But it would have to be bloody good for me to get it, to spend that sort of money. So in my head, I'm more comfortable around the £100 mark.
Yeah, same.
But I was fully prepared. If I fell in love with something as much as the Chronic, I would pick it up, irrespective of the cost, up to around £300. And I was just sniffed out all day. I just really struggled. I couldn't find anything. We went to Roger. I quite liked Enigma, actually. I quite liked that, but I didn't think I was going to spend £300 on that. Are you still there, Steve? God, Steve is buffering again. And that is, yes, Catty, you are right. That is when I got my Profumum Roma. Looking through the bargain buckets in Harrods.
Hey.
Same again. Sorry, Steve. You froze.
It's all right, mate. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know if my little boy's like watching Disney Plus or something downstairs. It's typical because I work from this office all day, every day, and my internet never drops out. But the one time I try live, it's dropped out twice.
And so
anyway,
you're on my live.
I was with you.
I really struggled.
Yeah, you struggled. You couldn't find anything.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything. I went to Killian, and they were about the right price range, actually, that sort of thing. I'm thinking, yeah, I'll be happy with one of those. I just didn't fall in love with anything, and I'd literally gone all day, and then right at the last moment, I did buy something, which was the Profumum Roma one, and it was just, and I think that jumped out just because it was sweeter and more indolic than anything I'd tried that day. There was nothing challenging about it, and I think after smelling so much, it really jumped out.
Okay.
So, and you'd like those, I think. I don't know if they'll be too sweet for you, but very vanilla-y, sandalwoody fragrances.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah, I fell in love with that, and that's what I ended up with. And I didn't spend anywhere near £300 with the Tours discount. It worked out to be about £170, I think. So still expensive for a fragrance, but that's the most expensive fragrance I've ever bought. So
I'd really like to try the rest of Bulgari's Le Gem line, because I see a lot of hype in the Facebook groups. So, but I don't know which ones. I just need to try them. I'd like to try them. They're bloody pricey. Obviously, I know Tiger now, but they get a lot of hype for different reasons. So I'd like to try those if I went. So yeah.
I'll tell you one. I didn't see the Nashane stall there. I don't know if you've tried anything from them.
No, I haven't. Not yet.
There's a couple I think you'll like. One of them is, what was the one John sent you, Bex, that you really like as well?
Is it Sweet Silent Ways?
Yeah, 100 Silent Ways. Quite a sweet, indolic, again, vanilla-y fragrance, that's very nice. The Charnay's Annie is quite nice. And,
yeah, that gets a lot of hype, doesn't it? Yeah.
And the one I'd like to try is Fan Your Flames is meant to be quite nice as well. So that's the house I've got my nose on. But yeah, you got to be careful. These fragrances, not Fan Your Flames, the one at the 100 Silent Ways, the sample at Bechtel only really lasted on our skin for about 3-4 hours. And when you're spending that sort of money, it's just like...
Mate, the Tom Ford's Lost Cherry is offensively expensive compared to its performance. I think Tom Ford's Lost Cherry is, relative to cost, easily the worst performing fragrance I've ever smelled. Like, it is just... I think it is criminal how badly that performs compared to its price point. I mean, it smells nice, if that's your thing. I don't quite like the smell, but it's just, that was offensively poor performance.
For that sort of money, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. If you could pick, this is. I should have got you to prepare for this one as well. I've got this question now. So, right, if you could pick to be any fragrance reviewer right now,
to be or beat.
No, not beat. Sorry, B.
If you could beat, if you've got a baseball bat and you could beat up anyone, what are you trying to do? Okay, if I could be any fragrance reviewer, right?
Yeah, is there anyone that you think, right? Yeah, they're doing the job. I would like to be them, not beat them, be them.
Well,
male or female as well. Male or female.
Oh right, that's a different story. I don't, not really.
Okay.
In what respect?
I'll put it another way. Let's ask it in a different way. Right. If you could let's change the question. If you could put two fragrance reviewers together to make a hybrid, sort of better version, without trying to offend anybody, which two fragrance reviewers would you put together to make a more interesting fragrance reviewer?
Wow. Okay. I mean, I like Cuba. Cuba now I find is really entertaining. I think he's definitely he's nailed the sort of entertainer thing, which is his tagline. I think he does that really well. So I really kind of enjoy his stuff. Who would I kind of try and balance him out with? I don't know. God, that's quite a tough question. I tell you, he's the coolest motherfucker in the game. Is not him. I'd go. I've totally lost my mind now. Who's the dude who plays the sax? Not the sax, the trumpet.
Oh, Justin Copeland.
Justin Copeland, JC.
He's super cool.
I had his initials in my head, JC. I knew it's JC, and I couldn't think of his name. I was like, I was going to say JC, but then people might think I was shouting out to Jesus Christ, like when I was doing a Jeremy on the situation. Oh, man, JC, yeah. He is the coolest dude in the game. I think his voice is just so silky smooth.
Yeah,
I think he should just record like bedtime stories or something. I'd love to just drift off listening to him. Like, it's just like so smooth. So that would be quite. I mean, that would be I don't know what the outcome of those two would be. With like his super chill, laid back, smooth, with then Cuba's sweary pants. I don't know what the outcome would be. It'd be entertaining to see what those two blend together as.
And just to get a little bit, so this is a bit more. That's a great answer. Those two, as I say, those two together, it gets you thinking, doesn't it? That would be amazing to see what that outcome would be. What the first fragrance review would be if those two came together and that's what came out. It'd be amazing. Yeah. Right. So just to get to know you a little bit better, if you could pick 3 famous people, dead or alive, to share a one-off dinner party with. This is Becca's question originally. Okay. Who would you pick for this dinner party?
Oh, that's classic. That's a classic question. I should know this really, but I'm going to try and resist the urge just to like pick hot women that I've always fancied. I think Stephen Fry is a very interesting character. I think it'd be quite interesting. He's got quite good stories. I'd like to have a good chat with him. I really quite like Ricky Gervais's kind of approach to life and how he is. I like how he doesn't care. And this is a bit weird, but like one of the things that stuck, because I've listened to all these podcasts and all that, and one of the things that was almost like like a life lesson that he slipped into a podcast once without even intending to. He told this story how when I think he was still with his his partner now, Jane, and she was getting rid of some curtains, these silky curtain things. They were awful, and he said, "Don't throw them. I'm going to make a suit out of those." And he said he did a really bad job because he just measured around his legs, cut that twice, and then stuck them together so they're really tight, these trousers. And Stephen Merchant said to him, he went, "Why did you think you could make a suit? Have you got the skills to make a suit?" And he kind of just went, "Oh, I was sort of 25 then." And he sort of said, I didn't think there wasn't anything that I couldn't do really. He's like, if I tried, why couldn't I do it? Other people do it. It was kind of like one of those little moments that was just within a podcast episode. It wasn't like a big thing. And it's like, that's such a good attitude towards life. Like, why can't I do it? Why can't I give it a go? Like, why other people do it? Why can't I? So I really like that. And I kind of like, he's quite funny and he just doesn't give a shit. And I kind of quite like him. So I'd have him as well. So there's two. I've got one more, haven't I? Who else would I have? It's a bit of a cop out because it's another stand-up comedian, but then it's probably a bit controversial as well because he had. But one of my favorite stand-up comedians is Louis C.K., who had a bit of controversy. And he was in the news, but he's kind of coming through it and stuff. But so that's a bit of a risky one. But I've always really liked his stand-up as a stand-up comedian. I think he's really good. So his would be, I think it'd be quite funny to have as well. So yeah, probably those three maybe.
Excellent, great choices. And you know what, it does get to know you because obviously with your stand-up comedy and stuff you've picked. Stephen Fry is really, he's known for some comedy work as well, isn't he? So,
well, yeah, definitely. He did Footlights and everything, yeah. So he's done loads of comedy.
So right. If you could split reverse it, what would you say your favourite flavour ice cream is?
Probably. Well, actually, I was going to just go really easy and say chocolate, but I actually quite like raspberry ripple.
Oh, nice choice.
Yeah, it's a bit of left field. Quite often, if I get a raspberry ripple, people are like, "Oh, really?" But yeah, I quite like raspberry ripple.
There you go. Right, I'm a thief. You would have heard this question, I'm sure. So I am a thief. I am going to break into your house and steal all of your fragrances, but I'm going to say, Steve, look, I'm not that bad. I know I'm a thief, but I'm going to leave you three.
Okay.
What three would you keep from your collection?
It's funny you say this because I've been thinking about this recently, and I was sort of thinking about doing it as a tag or something because I'm going to revisit my top 10 fragrances for life. So it's been in my mind what my top 10 are, and if it's changed since the last time I did it, I would go for the Chronic. Cliche, I know, but that is my jam. My number one now, I think most people know this now, is Leighton. I'm really enjoying Leighton. And the last one, I'm really quite liking Bleu de Chanel, the Parfum version.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just really nice. I have to go a lot heavier than the EDP, but yeah, I'm really liking that. So yeah, I think with those three, maybe summer might be a bit challenging. I'd have to go quite light on the trigger, but I could probably get by with those three. There we go.
Good choices as well. And two great choices. Obviously, I like Bleu de Chanel, but I've not tried the Parfum, believe it or not. I've tried the EDP and EDT, but not the Parfum.
I think you'd like it.
I think I would. I am a big fan of Bleu de Chanel. I do like it. So this is a strange question, and you probably, I don't know if you would discuss this with Chris, but if Navitus or the backer behind Navitus was to come knocking and said, Steve, would you like to release your own fragrance or fragrance line? Is that something that you would do, would you think?
I've got no, I can rest assured any people watching this, I have no aspirations or desires to release my own fragrance. So it'd have to be called Basic Bitch though, wouldn't it? But I've got no desire to do that. Of course, if they said, yeah, but you're set to make, I don't know, 100 grand or whatever, then you'd be like, okay.
You might change your mind, yeah.
I'm a bit more interested. I've got no desire to. Obviously, I am a chemist by trade. I do it. So that side of it, and I did, like, when my wife paid for us to go on that sort of perfume making course, when it was all like pre-mixed kind of things, but you sort of mixed them, and it was quite fun. So I kind of quite like that sort of thing. But I definitely have no desire to buy my own ingredients and do what like Peter did at Fragrance Review and start kind of getting into it and making my own. I've got no desire to do that at all. I worked in a lab for 11 years, and I don't really want to sort of go back to that. So
Yeah.
so short answer, no. Long answer, if they said, yeah, but you're going to make however much money you're going to make, and if it was a big enough figure, I'd probably be tempted. But yeah, I've got no desire to.
See, this is a bit of a cliche, isn't it, in the fragrance community? I don't understand. I'm going to be a little tiny bit controversial here. So it shouldn't all be about the money, is what a lot of people would say, in terms of
no, totally.
You don't do, and if you let's face it, you've said this many times, that you wouldn't be doing this choice if it was for money, because it costs you a lot, and it has done over the years, 10 times more than you've ever made from it. The odd fragrance given to you or gifted to you is a drop in the ocean compared to what you end up spending on it. But a lot of people don't like the word influencer and stuff either. But what I would say to that is that a lot of the YouTube videos and a lot of people like my sons watch and stuff, they are influencers and they make money from it. It's why they do it. They are entertaining, they're good at what they do. But even some of the kids channels, they're pushing toys and stuff without even knowing about it. So and they're making money from doing that, from children watching. Now, what's worse? Is that worse, appealing to a child that's saying to mummy and daddy, can I have that toy, please? That's done in every single TV advert over Christmas anyway, or us talking to other like-minded adults that are into fragrance saying, look, I really like this, I'd recommend it to anybody. What is wrong with that? I don't understand why there's so much negativity around it.
The example that Chris always gives is like in every other industry, you get stuff sent to you for free to review, like mobile phones. I've watched mobile phone reviews and stuff when I'm looking to get my next mobile phone or whatever, and the companies get these sent to them for free, and the reviewers get the phone to play with for a week or two so they can then give a review. But nobody kind of goes, oh, you've got that for free. But I don't know, I guess they don't keep it. I don't know if they send it back. I don't know what the score is, but it's weird. In the fragrance game, there's a lot of, oh, you got that for free, so you can't review it. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
What I feel like I'm a bit of an open book on this, that I've done a lot of videos now. So if you was to then release a fragrance review of something that you didn't like and you tried to pretend that you did, surely that the people that have been watching you would know that instantly. I think I could. If I watched you, Steve, now, knowing how long I've watched you for, and you put a video out and you said, I love this, and in your eyes I can tell, no, you didn't, I would know. So
yeah, I was going to name something.
To see that as well. I don't understand. People know my taste by now. People know what I like. How can I
think
Raj about something?
Raj at the Sentient Man described it quite well, because he said it's not so much to that extreme. He said the phrase he used is reviewing with a handbrake on. So you might soften it, and that I can see, because sometimes it might be subconscious. Like obviously you've got a good relationship with Vitor, like he took you out. So if he sends you then samples, I mean, you might choose just to not simply do a review, but you might just kind of go a bit easier than if they were just sent to you. You might be something that's not your taste, but you might go, well, it's not really my thing, but it's kind of quite nice. Where if you didn't have a relationship with him, without, again, not a conscious thing, but you might kind of go, well, actually, I don't like this, and I don't think many people would. I don't know. It's kind of reviewing with the handbrake on is the sort of softer approach, and that's how Raj described it as Sentient Man. He did a whole video on it. It's quite a long video. It's about 20 minutes, but he talked all about the different aspects of reviewers' relationships with fragrance houses and what that means, and how is it a good thing or is it a bad thing. It's quite a good video.
I have to go and watch that, because that sounds interesting, and I can see that subconscious sort of thing. I can see that, of course. Obviously, you mentioned Vitor there, but it's one of those things where I like to think I'm quite a polite, decent person in terms of how I would react with any company, if that makes sense. So I'm not just going to put a positive review out if I like something. And Vitor knows as well, I've sent him stuff and told him about stuff face to face, or not behind the scenes, and said, not really sure about this, mate. And so I think I've done that with Matt as well, and Matt knows that. So I think
Matt's brilliant in that regard, because he in many ways kind of likes it when you're not all that positive, because people know that it's a genuine review and you're not you're not shitting, and then if you review another one of his that's good, so Matt quite likes it because it balances it out, because he doesn't like, he was sort of quite pleased with my Gravitas, because I didn't slate Gravitas. I think Gravitas is a nice fragrance, but he knew it wasn't going to be for me, and it kind of wasn't, but he kind of didn't mind that because it balanced out, because everybody was raving about it. And the trouble is, it from their point of view, it's like they get people to get in the sort of the bottles gifted, and then they're all really positive, so people are going to go, well, is it very good? So he wanted to see some balance in it, and he was kind of quite pleased. But people, it really frustrates me that people just don't get that it's a subjective thing. Like, my opinion is just my opinion. Like, somebody posted, one guy posted loads of different comments on my, we won't get into the detail on it, but my Aaron Terence Hughes video, where I reviewed a few of his fragrances, and the guy kind of kept posting, like, he did 4 or 5 different comments going, oh, why are you being so negative? Why are you bashing him? And I kind of said, I'm not bashing him or his fragrances. Like, I said, Blood Orange I love. I absolutely love that fragrance. Onyx I said wasn't for me, but I literally in the video said it's a nice fragrance. Tobacco Oud Vanilla I said, I think it's really interesting. Everybody should smell it because it's a really interesting fragrance. I said I'm not. And then another comment he went, oh, people just don't like Aaron because he's honest with his reviews, and they don't like it. And I went, but I'm just being honest with my opinions now, and you don't like it. So you're you're literally doing the exact same thing. It's just my opinion. I said to him, like, look, if you like these fragrances, and that's brilliant. Just because I'm sharing my opinion and they don't agree with yours doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the fragrances. What does it matter? Jesus. It
scares me to death. If I release something really negative, which isn't my style anyway, I'm not like that. But if I was to release something that was really negative, it's my. If that's my honest opinion, like you said, it's all subjective. So the next person might love that, and that's going to upset people because I've just basically bashed their favourite fragrance. I think if you're doing it for other reasons, i.e., look, they're charging £300 for this fragrance, and you could buy this one instead for £50, and that is much better. I think that's a slightly different story, but I feel a lot bit different about the smaller companies than I do the large ones as well. And I've noticed other channels are like that. Have you noticed that? So I'm not going to harm Tom Ford by criticising something.
Oh, good Lord, no. Yeah.
I'm not going to harm Dior by criticising something. I'm not going to harm Chanel by criticising something. But I would harm possibly, slightly, by putting it into people's heads, the smaller, and that's not people just like the tour, it's other people as well.
That is their living and stuff as well. That's the thing. There was an indie house, I won't name it on that, but they sent me a sample a while ago. It was this year, I think. And they sent samples to a lot of people, possibly even you. I think you might have even done a review of them, and a few other people did. So there was quite a few reviews coming out. And I sort of just said to them, I was like, to be honest, I don't think I'm going to review it because it's not really my bag. There's a lot of other positive reviews out there. I don't think it's going to add anything to it, and it's not. It didn't really do it for me. I don't think it actually, to me, it smelled a little bit like Right Guard. To be honest, I wasn't that kind of impressed. So I just said, I'm not gonna put it out. But that said, I'm not scared to do negative reviews. But I'm not gonna. That was one of their first fragrance or something. I'm not gonna just go and trash an indie house that are just starting up. That's not not that I'm that influential anyway. I don't think I am. But
I won't mention the name, but I know the one you're mentioning, and I didn't do a review on YouTube for that reason. I think I put a post on Instagram and about what it was like, rather than what my actual thoughts were so much. So there's ways in which you can do things, I think. So
thing is, I would love to see it. You've never really done a proper negative review, have you? I don't think.
No, there was only really a Zara one that I didn't like. But again, that's not going to harm Zara, is it? It's just, let's just face it.
I quite like negative reviews. I like doing them and I like seeing them because I like reviews that are emotive. So I like things that are emotive. So if people get really passionate because they love it, or if they get really passionate because they're pissed off that they spent their money on it and they're annoyed, I like that because it's. There's nothing worse. I hate doing reviews and I hate watching reviews where it's like, and I sometimes have to do it and it's like, yeah, it's all right. It's nice fragrance. It's just, and I find that so frustrating. And the worst is when it's a first impressions. I normally only do first impressions when I think it's going to be one way or the other. I'm going to love it or hate it. Like Toy Boy, I thought it was going to be quite a thing. And then it was like, oh, it's quite nice. It was just like such an anticlimax.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you do a proper negative review. I'd love it.
I completely bash something,
Just some
well,
rage.
it might happen one day. Who knows? It's unlikely, Steve. You'll be waiting a little while, I think. Right. What would you say? Do you watch much TV? Is there any like good TV shows you're watching at the moment? Do you go on Netflix or?
Yeah, I've watched. Yeah, we're always kind of watching. We've got loads. Normally, how we do it, the wife and I are normally working our way through some sort of box sets. We normally try and find some sort of half an hour comedy type thing that we can just chill out and watch while we're eating some food or whatever. So we've watched loads of those, like 30 Rock and Parks and Recreation and stuff. We've currently started watching Night Manager. We're a bit behind because that was on BBC, but we just started watching that on Amazon. What have I watched recently? I've again a bit out of date, but I've started watching Entourage. I'm a couple of seasons into that. Yeah, Gangs of London was awesome. I quite like that. That was quite different.
Yeah,
I feel like there's something else I watched recently that I love. Oh, I love. I'll tell you something I love as well on Amazon is The Boys. I don't know if you've watched that. It's
no,
like,
I've not. Is that I've got Amazon recently, so is that
Amazon. Yeah, it's definitely worth watching. It's a really interesting premise because it's basically like they're superheroes, but what if superheroes weren't good people? So
Right,
they're kind of got these superpowers, and they are superheroes, so they sort of save lives, but actually they do some really dark shit, and they're not good. They're not nice people. so they've got this facade. It's almost like that, like rock star or a pop star, where they've got this facade where they're actually, and it's obviously there's loads of back plot and story and all this, but yeah, it's quite an interesting premise, so that's really good as well.
That sounds good. I'm watching one that Nick actually from Talk and Review recommended to me, which is on Netflix, and it is around MMA. It's not a documentary. It's actually a series. I think there's 3 seasons, and it's it's basically martial arts. It's MMA. It's quite deep. It's not dark, I would say, but it's quite gritty. I quite like it, so quite enjoying that.
Oh, check that. We're quite behind because we only just recently watched The Tiger King, which was quite funny. So I did see your video. Yeah, it was only, I don't know, last month we watched it, I think. But I saw your video that you did, obviously, as part of Hillary's stuff. That was interesting. Yeah, that was.
Any more to say about that?
My highlight, I don't know how genuine it was or if you was just building up to the camera, because obviously you shared the extended version on your channel, but when you were just getting really angry, see, that's what I want to see. I want to see you do a review in that angry state where you're just like, oh, I'm just not happy. That really made me laugh.
Well, Becca got into camera for that. I pretty much dragged her on camera and said, no, you're going to do this. And I got all the outfits together and everything. And then I thought last minute she's going to go, no, I'm not doing this, even after I've got all the outfits. And I'm like, well, who else am I going to get to dress up? There is no one else, literally. So you're doing this. And she actually really got into character and really done well, I thought.
She was really into it. She scarily so, yeah.
And she tells me often, Steve, that she's the funny one. So, you know, it wouldn't have been the same without her. Right, so we're getting towards the end. I'm looking at the time. I don't want to keep you too long. I said I'll keep you for about an hour. So what I'll do just quickly, if there's any questions for Steve in the chat, if you wouldn't mind start dropping those in there now, and I'll keep an eye on it. And I'll just ask Steve a couple more questions, and we will we'll get on. So the last question I've got here is, I think you've answered this really. What would you say your favourite video is to, number one, shoot? And what is your favourite type of video to watch? So we're talking, I think you may have said this, but things like, I don't know, unboxings and full reviews. What would you say is your favourite?
My favourite, for me, I quite enjoy the sort of, because I don't really do list videos. It's quite rare I do a list video. I do it every now and again, but I normally do a seasonal list video. I quite enjoy doing them purely because I tend to make a bit more effort, and I go out and about and I shoot and I film. Because I don't do it very often, I feel like I can make the effort for them. But again, I would do that more, but trying to fit it in around the family and kind of going, right, I'm going to go off filming for 2 hours. I'll see you later. It's quite hard to swing sometimes, quite hard to justify. Yeah. Because I don't do that very often, for those list videos, I do try and just play that and go, look, I preempt it and go, this weekend I'm going to need to go off and do some filming. So I quite enjoy those, and I quite enjoy putting them together because they're great, because there's loads of different elements and it all's quite raw. And once you've edited it down and put it together and put some music in it, it's like a nice finished piece. So it looks quite cool. So I actually enjoy those. As we were talking recently offline, I'd love to do more of that. I find that really satisfying to make, but it's just the time, and you get stuck in this whole, I need to put content out, or you try and put content out regularly enough rather than putting stuff out. That's Nigel's got quite good, because he just doesn't put stuff out as often. So, but then he'll spend more time doing it and feel like it's worthwhile to put out. So
we had this that conversation, didn't we, recently?
yeah.
I've got loads of, I've said to you, I've got ideas, but it's being able to, number one, being able to execute those ideas and skillful enough and have that in your armory to be able to do it. And number two is the time to be able to execute it, even if you can. It's just very tough. But Barry will be testament to this. His channel's still growing, and he's just bang on it. Review, unboxing. And
haul, fragrance. I've been bought these. Barry Big Pockets with his haul
that
videos.
Consistency works, doesn't it?
Totally.
The more you release, the more subscribers you're going to get, the more watch time, etc., etc. So, but yeah, I've got ideas, but it's just getting it into process. It really is tough. But I know you feel the same way about that. Right, I've got some questions in there, and then I'll do some would you rather. So Chris has asked, how many naughty words would you like me to give you to edit out of the podcast later?
Go for it, mate. I'll just leave them in because I'm not bothered. If Chris drops the C-bomb, I'll leave it in. So that's fine by me.
There we go. That's a good one, John. John's always got good questions. If Chris retired from the Scent Geeks, who would be your first choice sidekick?
Wow. I don't think Chris would like being called a sidekick, but partner in crime. God, I don't know really. I don't know. God, that's a bloody good question. I don't know. I mean, we would be quite good because if we weren't in lockdown, we're quite local, so we could actually record it live rather than over the internet. So that'd be quite handy.
Just go to the pub.
Yeah, we could, couldn't we? We could just do a pubcast. That'd be quite handy.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the podcasting. I'd like to do like a non-fragrance podcast, but I don't, because it's funny, my wife enjoys that bit the most. The bit at the start is where my wife listens to, and then she stops. As soon as we start talking about fragrances, she just stops listening. I really enjoy the podcast, and I'd like to do a non-fragrance podcast as well, but it's kind of just trying to, I don't think it'd get the following because nobody knows me. I don't know. But
almost needs a subject, doesn't it, to work? It's weird. Right, what else have we got there? If you had a favourite, this is from Tara at Olfactor Files. Great channel Tara has, by the way. I don't know if you've subscribed to her yet, Steve, but definitely recommend looking. If you had to pick a favourite fragrance house, which would it be?
Well, you probably know the answer to that, didn't you?
Bulgari.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And a lot of people have said that in the chat already.
Yeah, people know. Tara doesn't know me. That's cool. Yeah, the thing is, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily got the best fragrance and the best fragrances, and quite often, like, they're not like the three I mentioned earlier. None of those were Bulgari, but it's a house where they're probably, for me, the most consistent. It's probably the most fragrances I like from a single house, I would say. There's quite a lot that might not be my favorite, but I still really like and I'd quite happily wear and stuff. So yeah, probably Bulgari.
Excellent. Right, well, we'll move on to the would you rather questions that we usually answer, but thank you everyone for your questions. If you've got any more, we'll try and squeeze them in because we're going to get finished shortly. So Chris, cakes or sweets?
Oh, sweets. Yeah, I'm a bit of a sweet fiend, actually. I've normally got a bag of sweets with me, next to me, in the chair every night in front of the TV. I'm quite bad. Yeah,
people think I like cake, but I like sweets as well. Crisps or biscuits?
Crisps.
Fly or be invisible?
Be invisible, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Because you're a nosy git.
Yeah, but just like to just nose. Yeah, I'd like to look around people's houses, not even necessarily in a pervy way. Like my wife's got this thing, like she called it like house porn, where she's always looking on Rightmove and likes to look inside people's houses and look around. Or these big, that house down the road's for sale. I'm going to get on Rightmove so she can get to look around. So yeah, I just quite like being nosy, really. So yeah.
Cats or dogs?
Oh, dogs every day of the week. Yeah.
Excellent. Fougere or gourmand?
Oh,
that's
gourmand.
Yeah. Gourmand, okay.
Yeah,
designer or niche? I think I know the answer.
Designer, it's got to be in it.
Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Chanel or Dior?
Ooh, Chanel.
And summer or winter?
Summer, yeah.
Definitely
not autumn. Yeah. Mate, I was raking leaves today. It took me like an hour and a half. I'm like, I bloody hate autumn. I just hate it, man.
And Bex, have you got any more?
You can ask it.
Oh God, I hate this question. So cheesy. Fragdicted or fragdicted snaps?
Depends what I want to look at, really. I do like looking at Tony's face, but it's got to be fragdicted snaps, hasn't it? Really? Yeah.
Right. Okay. She's like this with her arms in the air.
Had
Great.
to be,
She's
didn't
not.
it, really?
She's feeling all right all of a sudden now.
I'm a gentleman. I can't turn down a lady's.
She knows this, but she's but she still asked the question anyway. Barry's just put, would you have to take your clothes off to be invisible?
No, but I would. I'd do it anyway.
And are you, as you're working from home, are you still wearing fragrances? Of course he is. He's got
definitely.
And stuff.
Yeah. It's no, I'm really enjoying kind of fragrances. And the other day I had about 4 on because I was testing them. But yeah, I definitely still wear fragrances. Yeah.
Excellent. I missed that one because he's changed his name, but David G has put, if Callum Best fragrance was remade into a much longer lasting form, which house would do the best job? Good question, David.
Cool, that's a very good question. It is quite probably it's a bit cliche to say, but probably Bulgari would probably do it. It's kind of Bulgari-esque, that fragrance. I still stand by it. That's a good fragrance. It's just got dog shit performance. If it lasted longer, I'd wear it quite happily. I'd wear it more often. It just doesn't last.
Excellent. Well, Steve, look, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much, mate. I'm going to let you get back to your family this lovely evening before you have to go and record and do your podcast.
If anybody's got any scenarios, you can still get them in time. It's funny, you kind of put me on the spot with some of these questions. It's maybe now I know how Chris feels when I put a scenario at him, and he's had no prep time. But yeah, if anybody's got any scenarios, let me know. I've not picked the one that we're going to use for tonight's recording yet, so you've still got time to get yours featured if you want to get it in there.
Excellent. I'll get Bex to think of something really strange. There we go. But no, thank you, Steve. I've got to say thank you, by the way, just before you go. So thank you for a number of things. Number one, your support you've shown to me from the very, very beginning when I was Fragdicted. So appreciate that. You reached out and said that you'd be happily collaborate with me as well, which meant a lot. So you've been there since the start, one of the first people I spoke to. So thank you, mate, for
That's all right.
being here.
No worries.
Helping me out and giving me advice as well sometimes, so I appreciate it.
Well, like I say, I do just genuinely feel bad because like everybody's so nice and they always watch my videos and comment, and I just don't kind of do it back as much as I want to. And it's not that for not wanting to support people or not wanting to. It's just like I say, it's kind of finding the time and to do it. I have to just be a bit choosier now which videos I'm watching. And same with like the live. Sometimes I can't watch like Nigel's 3 hours live, but I always try and come in and sort of say hello and stuff. So. But similarly, thank everybody that supported me and kind of putting up with me and stuff, really. And like I say, I would love to show you all a lot more support, but I just
don't feel bad for that. Life is life, mate. We've got things in our private life that are more important than smelly water, as I like to put it. And been corrected a number of times that it most of the time isn't water. So corrected on that. But no, thank you, Steve, and congratulations again on the continued success of Saint Geeks with Chris, because I feel you know how I feel about the pod. I love it. It gives me it gives me my work journey to work on a Monday morning, or sometimes even that night if I've got something I'm browsing or looking at, I can just put my headphones in and watch it that night. So thank you, and continue doing it because it's fantastic. It's great. Listen, really love it.
I'm so proud of the podcast. I'm more proud of it probably in many ways than our channel, because it's just, but it's so unexpected, and I'm genuinely touched by how much people seem to enjoy it. I'm shocked as well. I say it every week on the podcast, but I am really shocked that people are so nice and they're so positive and they give us such nice feedback. And I'm really surprised by it, to be honest, but I do really appreciate it. And it's such good fun to do. And we're definitely going to keep doing it. It's great. So
good stuff. Well, thanks again, Steve. I'll catch up with you again soon, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man.
And
brilliant. Thanks for having me.
Enjoy. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Take care, mate.
Take care. Bye. Right, there we go, everyone. So Steve was my mystery guest of the week. I've been meaning to get Steve on for a number of weeks. I hit him up recently and he kindly came on. The only reason I hadn't asked him earlier was genuinely because I know how busy he is with life and obviously children and family and stuff. So, and I know he enjoys his Sundays off of work. So that's the reason for not asking him sooner. But appreciate you all coming on. I will try and be live next Sunday. I'm trying to do 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off. So I haven't lined anyone up yet for next week, but I will be sending a couple of DMs out. Catty has a question. What's the pic taken down from the wall? I can't show it all.
You can cover up.
Right, okay, I can cover it up. Right, the reason, Catty, apologies, I just had to stand up a moment. I've got to cover something up here. But this is, let me show you what's on the wall behind us. Hold on, let me take this bit off first. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Enjoy your Sunday evening. This is the picture that's taken down from the wall. There we go. So that was a photo shoot that Phoebe had when she was a baby. And yet, for obvious reasons, we can't have that up behind us. So not very nice for Phoebe. So, but there we go. That is our picture that is taken down. It's a canvas of Phoebe when she was a baby. With her little butt cheeks out. So yeah, that's the reason we don't leave it there. But no, thanks for everyone for joining me on this Sunday evening. Just to give you some pre-warning, and Becca why she's here, because she doesn't know about this yet, I will hopefully be doing a Frag Lads live, fingers crossed, this Friday, because Nigel doesn't have a live this week. And we will be talking about, what we'll be talking about. Barry and Nick will be there, and we're still waiting on a couple of people. And we will be talking about the Discovery Pack that is, I've just had a complete mind block. The colourful one. No, not Amina Da Vinci, no.
Da Vinci?
Not Amina Vinci, no. Catty.
Cologne.
Atelier Cologne, apologies. I just had a complete mind block there. So, yes, so we've got a live Friday at around 9 p.m. once the kids are asleep, probably for about an hour-ish, but can't promise timings. Atelier Cologne, but we're going to be doing that with Barry from Centralised, and we're going to be doing it with Nick from Talk and Review. So we'll be doing that Friday night to try and fill in your Friday night with Nigel not being live. And I look forward to that. So that's 9 o'clock Friday night. I've got another couple of ideas for lives, but I'll talk to the people involved with that. But no, I really appreciate you all joining me for this stream. Really enjoyed it. It's time for us to go and get some food too. We're now in Monday, as I always call it. So enjoy your Sunday evening, everyone. And I'll catch up with everyone very soon. And take care of yourself. And don't forget, if you're not following Steve, go and give him a follow. After this live ends, shortly afterwards, I upload a new thumbnail, put the description in, put the details in the description below. So don't forget to have liked the video if you haven't done that already. Tara, thanks so much for your donation. That's very appreciated. And we will see you all next week, and hopefully Becca will be feeling better and be on camera for next week. She's shaking her head. So see you later, everyone. You take care of yourselves. Bye.